Hello friends, welcome to part 12 of online shopping cart using Blazor server. In our previous video, we have seen the entire login, registration, checkout process. So in this video, we are going to see how we can uh, show all the placed orders and change password and order history in the user my account page. So this tutorial is basically going to be about the main my account page. Okay, so let's open the my account.razor page. So here, let's delete this heading and let's import all the required namespaces and paste it here. Now let's declare all the variables. This account page on this page we are going to use tab structure, like on left hand side what we have here. On left hand side it's going to be the similar to what we have on index.razor. We are going to use this vertical menu, and when user clicks on the menu we are going to show the respective details. For example, account, then change password, then we can have order history, like that. Okay, so we are going to have like this. So we need, it will be some tab structure. Okay, so let's create that. So here we're going to have this div. So this is a single div, and inside this div we are going to have two more divs. One will be column menu and another will be column content. So let's create those divs. So here we have the column menu. We're going to add one more div here for column content. Okay, so we have two divs over here. So inside the first div we are going to add three structure. So here inside the first div we have this vertical menu, and inside this vertical menu we are going to have three hyperlinks. Okay, each hyperlink will be having its own text. Okay, so let's create the hyperlinks. So here this three hyperlinks we have added inside this vertical menu div. So here we are having three classes. We have the my account. These three flags we are using: my account, change password flag, and order history flag. If the flag is true, then the class CSS class will be active, else it will be empty. Okay, and on click of the particular hyperlink we are calling this change active menu and passing the required text. Okay, so the header text will be my account, change password, and order history. So these three we have created in this vertical menu. And the column content, so inside this column content we are going to add a div, two divs. Okay, so we have this div with the header text, and then we have this another div. So this is the closing of this div, and this is the closing of this div. Okay, so we have it this way. Inside this header text we are going to have three more if conditions for each of the vertical menus. So for this and this one and this, actually these are three tabs, so we are going to have three different sections inside this. So let's create one by one. The first one will be for this my account flag. If my account flag is true, then we are going to show this div with the username and email and the image icon. Okay, let's create the second one for change password flag. Okay, so we have this change password flag. If this change password flag is true, then we are going to show this entire structure, and we are going to bind this model password model. Okay, so we are going to create one model on similar lines what we have created for login, register, and rest of the other models. Okay, so here this edit form is there. Inside the edit form we have this form group, and all the form groups are having this text box, and for each text box we have binded the old password and new password. Same on same lines we have new password, then we have confirm password, and all these things are same. Three input text we have taken, and on submit we have this submit button. So once the form is validated, it will call this change password click method. So this also looks pretty simple, nothing complex here. Let's go for the third one. The third one will be for order history. So here I have the order history flag. It's simple, a table. We have applied this bootstrap class, table striped, table bordered, vigilite, and then we have the header, and in the header we have order number, total, and order date, and we have two buttons, track and details. Like that, if you want to see what all items we have placed in the order, then we can use using track, and if we want to see the status of the, then we can track the, like, what is the shipping status. Then here we have used this for each loop, and we have this variable customer orders. From the customer order we are getting the order id, total, and created on, and we have two buttons. One is track, we have this track click and detail click, two buttons we have. Okay, so this is also a pretty simple table structure. So this looks fine. Now we have already created this table column menu and column content, so let's create the required css for it. Okay, so I have the style sheet style over here. I have the column which is float left and padding. Then I have this clear fix of content clear display table. Then I have menu with the width 25% and margin top color black, and the content will be 75%. I have applied the pointer cursor to the hyperlinks. Then I have vertical menu with the width and border, and vertical menu with for this hyperlinks. Then on hover of hyperlink and on active hyperlink, what color should be there, that I have just added here. Then I have a card to display the other details. Then I have the title. Okay, this card we have used here in our profile account tag. Okay, and for title we have the color and font size. This is a pretty simple style. Now let's add the required variables, because all these variables and these methods we have to add it here in our code section. So let's add the variables first. Okay, so here if you see, I have created many variables. Now the first is header text. The default header text will be my account, and the user key will be 0. This user key is nothing but the customer ID, user email, username, alert message, my account flag, change password flag. Then we have order history flag, track order flag. I think this we are not using, let's remove it. And then we have show track order and show order detail, show alert box. Then we have a list of product model products, list of customer order. This is customer order and password model we are going to create now. And we have the response, shipping status is a list of string. Then we have the cart, my cart, to display what user has purchased in his or what order he has placed. For that we need my cart and all these details cart related. So let's create these two models in our custom models. So in data model, custom model, let's add customer order, add a new class. Let's make it public. So here I've created this customer order. Okay, I think we are creating double duplicate here. So instead of customer order, we already have this customer order in our models, so no need of creating another model in custom. So let's delete it. So here I think we'll have to inherit one more namespace here for using models. So along with custom models we can have models as well. Okay, so this will help us resolve the customer order. Only new namespace new model required is password model. So let's add that. Add a new class. And let's make it public. So here I have used user key, old password, new password, and confirm password. So let's include the data annotations, save it. Let's go on my account, and here that error is resolved. Now if you see this, whatever variables we have declared, because of this some errors are gone. The next is we have to include this change active menu flag, change active menu method with the input parameter of string. So let's create that, and also we have to create the initialize method. So let's first create the initialize method. So here on initialize of this component, we are creating a new instance of product, customer orders, and password model. Now let's create change active menu. So this is a method. So this will change active menu will receive the menu type of parameter. So if the menu is my account, change password, or order history. So this same method can receive three type of parameters. Based on the parameters, we are going to set few flags. If this flag is true, then it will be active, and this section will be enabled. If this change password flag is active and true, then this will be highlighted and this section will be visible. So we have to simply toggle the flags. So here if you see, we have three flags. We don't need this fourth flag. Three are enough, I think. Okay. So we have my account, change password, and order history. So based on the case, we have used switch case over here. So whatever case we have, it will go to the particular case and then break. It will hit the break command and come out of this switch loop. So if it is my account, then my account is true, rest all are false. If it's change password, then change password is true. If order history, then order history flag is true. Okay. So based on that, it will be done. Now in case of order history flag, we have a method like get orders by customer ID. Okay. So based on the customer ID, we have to get the orders. Okay, and that orders we have to bind to this variable customer orders, and then we will be binding it through this here, and we are going to use this variable and loop through and show the orders which user has placed. Okay, so let's create this method, get orders by customer ID. So let's see. So it's a simple method, get orders by customer ID, and we are passing the customer ID, and based on the customer ID, we are just pulling the records. So let's add this method get orders by customer ID in our user panel service. So let's go here. So here I have, so we'll have to add this models. Okay, now it's a simple call based on the customer ID. It's a call to our API, get orders by customer ID. Customer ID is equal to this, and we are just returning a list of customers, customer order. Okay, so let's add it here in our interface. So this call is pretty simple. Let's add the required namespace. Fine. Okay, this looks fine. Let's close all the pages and let's open again my account. So far everything looks fine. Now we have to get the customer ID from the session and assign it to this variable. We have this user key, right? When a user clicks on order history menu, then this will get activated and it will pass the user key. So we haven't assigned user key anywhere in this code, so that will be assigned in our on after render. So let's add that. So here I have in this on after render, once this at the end of this rendering this component, we have this user, we are getting this user key, username, and user email from the session. If all three are available, that means user is logged in. Then we are simply going to convert it to user key, username, and user email, and also the latest order. If suppose once the user places the order and we are redirecting the user directly to our account page, so in that case we are not going to show him the my account, and suppose we are going to show him the latest order. So if this session is available, then in that case what we are doing is we are deleting the latest order. If it is available, then that means we have shown the user the latest order, and then we are deleting this key. Okay, deleting this, that means if user navigates to some other screen and comes back, then we are not going to show this latest order. Okay, now in that case, after this is done, we are getting this get order by customer ID user key. We have already got the user key over here, and we are changing the for first load, we are changing the active menu to order history. But if user is not placing any order and he is simply logging in and coming back to user screen, in that case my account will be the first default flag. So here we have set the my account flag as true by default. So by default we are going to show this, but in case if user is interested in user has done the checkout process, then we are going to show the order history tab. Okay, so this looks fine. So let's run the code. I think it should work. Then we'll write the code to get pull the data from the APIs. Okay, change password click. Okay, this change password click we have to create, and one more error is there, like detail click and track click. Okay, so okay, let's create those. Let's write the entire code, then only we'll run it. So here we are going to have the same model pop-up. Okay, what we have in our what we did in our admin panel. So let's go and on the products we have this style, right? This model style. So we are going to copy that and paste it over here. Okay, it's a model pop-up, and for that we have already designed 3 flags like show track order, show detail, and show alert. So we are going to have 3 design over here, 3 flags to show the pop-ups. So let me add them. Okay, so I have this show alert message. If this flag is true, then I am simply showing the alert message like order placed successfully or whatever, password change successfully or whatever it is. Whatever the message it is, it will simply show the message. Okay, then I have to write this toggle alert message. So let me write this toggle alert message. It's a simple method. If the flag is true, make it false. If it is false, make it true. So this is simple, a model pop-up. We have already discussed this kind of pop-ups in our previous video tutorial at many places. So no need to explain this. Another one I have is this entire structure. Okay, I have this entire structure of a model. In that I am just looping through whatever products I have in my cart and then showing them so that user is able to see what order he has placed. Okay, what are the details he is. So simply I'll create this toggle order detail pop-up. It's just a read only. Simple method to just toggle, enable and disable the pop-up. So here I have simply model content, model header, then model body. Then I have this table, and inside the table I'm simply looping through the my cart and just displaying it. Here I just have to change the port number, whatever I have for our API, so that I can get from my cart. I think my cart, I have the API. Let's put in here. Fine. Then I have this table, few style, border, subtotal, shipping address, total, ship payment mode, and all. Looks fine. Okay. So this also looks fine. Now the third one I have is this track order pop-up. So here this is to show the what is the status of my shipment. Whatever order I have placed, it is in courier, right? So I just want to know what is the status of that. So I'm just showing this shipping updates not equal to null, and the shipping updates, if you see, it's a list of string. If you see here, it's a list of string. So it will be like whatever list of string it is, I'm simply showing that and putting it here. It's a simple whatever text, just simply paste the text. That's it. And if it is null, that means no update on order shipping. Please check after some time. And on click of this button, we are simply closing that pop-up. So I'll have to create this toggle order pop-up method. So let me do that. Okay, so this is done. And apart from this, if you see, these 3 pop-ups are there, and inside this order history I have this entire structure, right? So here if you see, there are 2 clicks, 2 methods, track order and detail click. So in that, in order to track the order, I need the order ID, and to get the details of a particular order, I need a method with the order ID. So these 2 methods I'm going to write here in our code section. Okay, so I have the user key and the order number is user key is our global variable which we have declared it here, and I'm receiving the order number as a part of input from the click method. So I'm just passing it to this method, get order details for customer, and another one I have get shipping status for order. Okay, so these two methods are there. So let me create this get order detail for customer in our user panel service and get shipping status. Both methods I'm going to create here. Let me remove this extra space. Let me enter. So here I have get order details for customer. I'm passing the customer ID and the order number in this get order detail for customer, and I have the customer ID and order number. So now I'm going to create one more method. It's like get shipping status for order. For that order number, I'm going to get a list of string, and I'm just passing the API/user get shipping status for order and the order number. So let me add these methods in the interface. Fine. So now if I go on my account, these two methods, get order details for customer, get order detail for customer. Okay, in my account, get order detail for customer does not exist in the current context. Okay, we have added it, right? Get order detail for customer in user panel service. This method is there and this is also there, but it is still showing. Okay, let me check. So we'll have to create one more method, get order detail for customer. So let me do that here above this. And okay, so this is get order detail for customer. We are passing the user key and the order number. And here if you see, I'm passing this customer ID and order number to this method get order detail for customer, which is part of user panel service. Okay, I would have instead of creating a different method, I would have created, but it's the same thing. We can paste this entire content here itself in the same instead of this line, but it's fine. So if the my cart is not null and count is greater than 0, then from the my cart first record I'm getting the shipping address, shipping charges, subtotal, final total, and payment mode. And this my cart will be a list which will get binded as a for loop inside the cart section. Here if you go in this show order detail, here we are binding this my cart as a loop and showing all the details. Okay, so this looks fine. Now the other part is we have is the change password. So if we go in this change password flag, here you see we have this change password click. Okay, so let's create the method change password click. So here on the password model, if the password model dot password and confirm password are not matching, then we are showing this message plus password and confirm password are not same and just displaying the alert message. If both are same, then we are simply adding the user key and then passing it to our API service via the user panel service. And after the password is updated, we are simply showing the message and displaying the alert message again. So let's add this change password in our user panel service. So it's a simple post method. We are posting the entire password model to our change password user API controller. Okay, let me add this in user panel service interface. Fine, this looks fine. Now whatever we have added here in this get orders by customer ID, get order detail for customer, get shipping status for order, and change password, these four methods we have to add in our API layer of in our user controller. So let's do that. Okay, so here I have added all the 4 methods. Get orders by customer ID, receiving the customer ID and passing it to our service. Then we have get order detail for customer as a HTTP GET, receiving these 2 parameters and passing it to the next. Then we have the get shipping status based on the order number. Then I have the change password based on the password model. So all these 4 methods simultaneously I'll have to create in our final service, which interacts with our database, which is that is user service. So let me do control MO and remove the space, and let me add the respective methods. Okay, so let me explain them one by one. The 4 methods which we have added here is, the first one is get orders by customer ID, which receives the order customer ID and then just simply returns the order. So for that we have this customer order table, which we have already covered in our previous sections. So based on the customer ID, I'm just changing the order and putting the latest one on the top by order by descending, and then sending the list. It's a simple query. So the output is the list of customer order, and the return type is also list of customer order. This customer order is a database table. It's not a custom model. Okay. The next part is get order detail for customer. So first I have to get the customer orders. Okay. And for that customer ID and that order number, I'm pulling the record from customer orders. Okay. So for that customer order, I'm pulling the records for from the order detail table and product list. Okay, so this order detail and product list. So for all the order detail, I'm just creating a cart model, binding the product name, price, image, quantity, and simply adding it to cart model. So the return type, if you see, it's a list of cart model. Okay, so here I have the product detail, product list, and looping through all this, and then simply it's a loop. And after once the looping is done, I'm just adding the shipping address, shipping charges, total, payment mode, and total. This I'm adding as a first record. Okay, the same, it's a reverse process of what we did when during the checkout process. Okay, once this is done, I'm simply returning the card details. Looks fine, simple, nothing much complex. In the change password, I'm simply returning a response. If the response, if the password is changed successfully, password updated, this is the text message we are returning. If the user ID does not exist somehow, if the whatever user ID we have got as a part of this password model that does not exist in our customer table, then we are simply returning user does not exist, try again. Okay, we are simply here, if you see, we are using this db context customers update query, and then db. So what is happening is, in the customer, this customer is a part of this customer table, customer dot password equal to password model dot password. So whatever we pass new password we have received as a part of this input parameter, that we are assigning it to this and then updating in our database table. So this also, it's a simple logic here. Then we have get shipping status for order. So here, if you see, uh, in this customer order table, we have this shipping status. Okay, so in that we are storing the shipping status as a pipe separated string. Okay, so for example, the if the we are delivering the order from point A to point B, so like it has been dispatched from point A, it's in transit mode. So whatever is the shipping status, that is getting appended to this customer orders table and to this column. So we are simply splitting that and converting it to a string and simply returning it back. We'll see that in action. So let's run this screen now. Let me build the entire solution to see if there is any error. Okay, okay, we'll have to add these 3 in our interface. Okay, let me add this. I'm adding this custom models, and okay, the next one is get order details. Let me copy this in definition and put it here, and let me take the third one, and the last one will be this one. fine. So this should solve the errors. Let's build it. Okay, so build succeed. Let me close all the tabs and click on start. Okay, let me log in. Okay, let me go to my account. Okay, so here if you see, I have this 3 tab structure, and this first one is active because the by default the my account flag is set as true. If I click on change password, I have this another structure, and if I click on order history, I have this structure. So if you see in our previous section, we have placed in our checkout tutorial, we have placed 2 orders. So both are visible over here, and if I click on detail, then it shows me the entire detail whatever I have ordered. What is the subtotal, what is the payment mode, shipping address and all. If I click on it, close. If I click on track, then it shows no update on order shipping. Please check after some time. Because if you see, customer order, if you see the shipping status, there is nothing at here. So let me update it. Update customer set status equal to dispatched from origin, where order ID equal to this one. So let me update it. Update customer order. Okay, update customer order, we have to update. Okay, let me see the update now. So okay, so here I have this one, and I think we have to add a pipe over here. Okay, let me see the record. Okay, it's a pipe separated dispatched from origin. Now for this order, if I go and see the track, so I can get dispatched from origin. Okay, and let me add the second one, in transit to destination. So this, I'm splitting this based on the pipe and simply showing it. Let me go on track, so I can see dispatch from origin in transit to destination. Okay, so this is the detail, and I can see the detail what order I have placed. Okay, so this looks fine on the change password also. And my account, and in my account I'm simply showing the name and the email ID, nothing more here. In change password, I can change the password. So if I see the customer table, the password is 12345. Let me change it. Old password is 12345. New password is 112233 112233, and submit. Password updated successfully. Let me see the table. So it is changed. Okay, so that was it in this tutorial. So I think we have pretty much covered everything here. Now whatever orders have been placed, that we have to show simply in our admin panel. So if you see here in our orders, we are not showing anything. So whatever, it will be a similar structure to what we are showing in our order history. The admin will be able to see all the orders irrespective of the customers. So for all the customers, the admin can see the orders. Okay, so that was it. In our next tutorial, we will be going through the orders page and the master page. In master page, we are not doing anything. We are simply updating the some master settings, like the what are the shipment status and all. So these two screens, orders and master, we are going to see in our next tutorial. So that was it. See you in the next tutorial.